Somehow Mateen, a Muslim, was drawn to ISIS, which preaches that homosexuality is punishable by death.
There's no indication that ISIS had anything to do with this attack other than later praising it. And perhaps the final contradiction to Mateen's life was that he couldn't even decide which terror group he wanted to be part of, claiming he was with Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, and then ISIS. Three terror groups that are, in fact, bitter rivals. George?
Okay, Brian, so much to sort through there. We're joined now by one of America's leading forensic psychiatrists, Dr. Michael Welner, chair of the forensic panel. And there are so many different sides to this man. What kind of portrait are you putting together?
I think we need to start with what's really undeniable. First of all, it's a mass killing. And mass killing in America has a distinctive quality that it's either vanity or it's ideology. And the simple answer is vanity mass killing is done alone. Ideological mass killing is done with a co-conspirator. His wife was a co-conspirator. There may be more co-conspirators. Excuse me?
She said she tried to stop him. You don't buy that at all.
She's speaking to investigators. She's implicated in a mass killing. I would expect her to communicate the way any suspect would, which is to portray herself in a favorable light. She was casing Disney with him about 2 months ago. She was aware, she was involved, she was participating. She easily could have stopped him. There's no trail of people, there's no referral to mental health services, there's no engagement of his employment to take his weapons away from him. She could have saved life. Now, she may not be the only co-conspirator, but just to answer your question concisely, ideological mass killings differ from vanity mass killings when you have a co-conspirator.
We know they went to Disney. We're not positive they were casing it right there, but we're also learning, so this has some echoes of San Bernardino. You have the husband and wife there, but you've also got this other development here where you learn this is a man who seems to be at war with himself at some level, attracted to homosexuality at some level, going on these dating sites, going to these clubs, yet also at some level hating it.
Well, not necessarily. Just to complete the earlier point, mass killing is a spectacle crime in America. And the idea of spectacle when it attaches to ideology is the killer tells you what his motivation is. He has unambiguously said that he was targeting Americans, that he was targeting America, that he was allied with Islamist supremacists, whether it was through ISIS or whether he was sympathetic to Hezbollah. The point being that he identified himself as antagonistic
well,
to
he was against
America.
rather than what he was for, because as Brian pointed out, their rivals, the different groups he claimed allegiance
Yes,
to.
they do have one common thread, which is that they support terrorist attacks on America. Whether we happen to give money to Iran to fund it or not, they support attacks on America, and they act in separate ways, but they're not above collaborating against the great Satan. Putting that aside to address your point, the goal of spectacle is to kill as many people as possible. Consider San Bernardino. You think the killers had a problem with the health department? No. It was the opportunity of understanding that he had access to all of those people in an enclosed space. So to the viewers who worry about what keeps them at risk, the reason a person is at risk in an enclosed space where there are no defenses, where no one is armed, is because many people can be killed in a short period of time. Look, I examined the James Holmes case. He had no problem with the theater. He had no issue with Batman. It was about finding a place where he could have people captive.
Do you think that had nothing to do with the fact that it was a gay bar?
No. I think that the influences may have been subtle, and it may have everything to do with the timing. The timing is Ramadan and sexual conflicts, and the reason that he may have brought shame to his father, who is a Taliban devotee in Islam. A person who is a shaheed, who is a martyr during Ramadan, achieves absolute forgiveness. This was a mass killing that took place in Ramadan, and it didn't coincide with crisis, which for people who carry out vanity mass killings, it happens at a time in their life where they're in crisis. There's no event at the time. So I think there are two quick points about the gay issue. First of all, the idea of conflicted homosexuality, especially in Afghanistan, among Afghani men, is prevalent. This is not a unique situation. Secondly, the idea of having a space where one has access to and can identify potential victims, that's something that has to be explored. It's a place he frequented. It's a place he knew he could kill many people.
Okay, Michael Welner, thanks very much. Let's go to Mike Welner.